Are you excited to find out the shocking story of Erling Haaland's defiance of norms when he turned down the global giant Adidas? In a world where lucrative donations decide who to support, Haaland's brave choice sends shockwaves through the community. Figure out why he was turned down, which will show you a rebellious athlete who is willing to put character over money. Haaland's brave choice changes the game off the pitch more than any support. Let's get into it. In the beginning, we have to discuss Erling Haaland. He is one of a kind. He's been pulling off all the big names like Adidas, Nike, and Puma for the past few months. This is not typical for a skilled athlete. Athletes usually sign with one brand in exchange for a lot of money. He doesn't care though. This season, he's been wearing anything he wants. There's no chance about it. Usually, you can't wear Adidas and Nike together, which is part of the reason we did it. That guy seems to be having fun. It's more likely part of a bigger plan though. He used this approach to get the biggest sponsorship deal in football history. But there's something bigger than that. Adidas and Nike have had a split in the football business over the last 15 years. It stayed even because each brand had one of the best players of the time on their side. Nike had Ronaldo and Adidas had Messi. Let's say that one of the names had both. If it's the right athlete, one person can change the course of a whole company or even an entire business. This is the end of the age of Ronaldo and Messi. Two players are getting ready to take their place. One of them was looking for a new boot deal. Hello, and thank you for reading about why Haaland signed with Nike. This can be seen in two ways: from the point of view of the player, from the point of view of the brand. We'll do both, but let's begin with the player. A player like Erling Haaland doesn't make as much noise as him. Everyone in social, digital, and traditional media had ideas about where he'd go next before he chose to join Manchester City. There was some bad stuff going on with Haaland and his team. His father and agent, Mino Raiola, went all over Europe to get bids from all the big teams and raise the price. Well, fans are talking about who will sponsor his next pair of boots now that the club has been chosen. He is also adding to the excitement about that choice, just like he did with clubs. At his City debut, he wore Puma Ultra boots with the club's name on them. He scored against Bayern while on City's preseason tour in the US. He was wearing Adidas boots.
He always felt that scenario Erling Haaland was going to be.
Before City's first Premier League game against West Ham, Haaland wore Adidas shoes to the London Stadium. During the game, he switched to Nike Mercurial Vapor boots. He signed with Nike when he was 14 years old, but since his contract was up in 2022, he could move brands whenever he wanted. It is normal for athletes to have a 6-month matching rights period after their shoe deal ends. In other words, the player can't talk to brands until the deal is over. At the same time, if a competing brand makes an official offer during the matching rights period, the first sponsor can accept it. The old sponsor can always say, "We match that," and the athlete stays with us, no matter what the new sponsor offers. For this reason, it is tough for a brand to sign a talented player or team that is already signed with another brand, unless that athlete just waits the 6 months that match the right time. And Haaland did just that, which put him in a great position to pick any sponsor he wanted as long as they offered the best package. But the question is, what does a player look for in a new boot sponsor? Money is the most important thing. At Haaland's level though, it doesn't even make a difference. No matter what, all companies are ready to spend it. Also, it's about the best fit. It means two things. The most important thing is that the shoes fit well and feel good. Each brand can indeed make its own makeup, but it takes a lot of time and money to do so. If you feel safe in the store version, it's better. And the pros have their tastes, just like you do. It's not just about how the product fits, but also how the name fits. Each of the three names has a different story to tell. Are you more of a nothing is impossible or just do it player? Changing boots for Haaland is also a test to see how his fans react. This shows how to try something before you buy it, even though he doesn't buy anything. His ability to wait so long before making a choice shows how sure of himself he is. When he joined Manchester City in the summer, he could have already signed a huge marketing deal to cash in on all the attention he got at Dortmund. He might need some time to get used to the Premier League after all. It turns out that the league just needs some time to get used to Haaland. He kept setting new records, and the longer he waited, the more valuable his brands became on the market. He now makes a lot of money by signing the biggest sponsorship deal in sports history. A lot of famous athletes like Michael Jordan have worn Nike shoes in the past, which is probably why Haaland chose that brand. You can make a lot of money with Adidas and Puma, but Nike is the only brand that has helped its players leave a lasting mark. For the next crop of athletes, that's just as important as money. However, brands should not pay that much. Let's see what the bigger picture is. Millions of people watch sports on TV and want to buy and wear the boots that their favorite players wear. This will be because companies pay players to wear their boots. In terms of fan base, success, and marketing, the 5 European leagues from England, Spain, Italy, Germany, and France are the most important. Brands can get the most attention from their players' feet. Nike will have the most players in the Big 5 teams in 2022. About every other player wears Nike boots, then Adidas, and finally Puma. Nike and Adidas, on the other hand, are now more careful about how they spend their money. They don't have to spend as much money as they can to get every player out there. Instead, they try to pay attention to the best ones. Nike has Mbappe for a long time. When you look at it from the point of view of a hero, Haaland is the only player on the market who could replace Ronaldo or Messi. The cool factor for brands is almost as important as how well they work. The sports star has to connect with the audience and have the power to inspire a generation. If not, investing money in something that no one will buy is a waste of time and money. Adidas, Nike, and Puma don't just sell football boots through football players. This is important to know. But there are also a lot of other things, like t-shirts, running shoes, and bags. The amount of money made from football goods is pretty small. Running, training, and basketball are all much more important product groups that sell a lot more than football. Clothing is almost 10 times bigger than football. When the right people play, though, the company can become more trustworthy. It affects other things as well. They make it okay to charge more, no matter what it is: football, clothes, running, or something else. Brands want this effect to last for a long time because it takes a long time to happen. When you sign a player like Haaland, you also get data, which is useful in the short run. When brands work with superstar players who are like full-fledged franchises in their own right, they can be much more creative and personal with their marketing. You can use all the information that social media gives you to make one campaign for each group of followers and learn from it. It's very important to be quick and fine-tune your marketing as quickly and correctly as possible in today's economy. Because brands can see their target groups and how they act in real time through data, it has become very useful. It's possible to make marketing that is much more targeted and effective than with standard campaigns if you do it right and gather all the data. Getting a famous player is about a lot more than just the shoes they sell. Does it pay off, though? As the mysterious story of Erling Haaland's resistance comes to an end, one thing stands out: his unwavering dedication to being himself. By turning down Adidas's offer, Haaland puts principle over money, leaving an indelible mark on the world of sports advertising. As people around the world watch, Haaland's choice becomes more than just a choice. It's a sign of his unbreakable spirit, leaving a heritage that goes beyond logic and can be heard in the halls of brave individuality. Join the conversation and say what you think about how players shape their stories. What type of defiance speaks to you? Leave a comment below and make your voice heard in this very changing world of fashion and sports. What is Haaland?